Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be delving underground. But we're not just going to be in the ground, we're going to be underwater. We're going to be going around different spots, we're going to be using our scuba gear to stay under longer. We're going to be grabbing some artifacts, trying to get to the top as fast as we can. Today we're looking at an expansion to a popular game called Clank. This is Sunken Treasures. It's for 2 to 4 players, takes about 60 minutes to play. Today we're going to be doing a rules school. I'm going to teach you how to set up and what the differences are and all the rules to this so that you don't even have to learn them by the rules. So let's get started. Clank Sunken Treasures comes with a new board that's double-sided that allows you to play underwater. You'll be using a new item from the market, the Scuba. It allows you to move twice as easy through underwater spaces. You can also stay down there as long as you want because you don't have to hold your breath. Underwater has lots of great treasures, but watch out because it's loud when you jump in and you'll be adding clank every time you do so. There's new secrets and a new underwater monster you can fight every round. And 35 new dungeon cards that you can add to the deck. When setting up Sunken Treasures, you'll probably want to use the new board that comes with it. It's not mandatory, you can still use many of the other components in this expansion, but you'll probably want to use it. You can select either side of the board. This one shows a pirate ship in the top right of the board. And the other side shows that pirate ship close by where you're getting off it and delving underneath. You'll set up the expansion just like the original Clank base game with a few exceptions. If you want to go back and relearn how to set up the original Clank base game, click the link in the description of this video and it will bring you back to the setup portion of that game. One step that's different in setup is to place the new market tile to the side of the board and place all of the market items on there just like the base game. But there's a new item called Scuba, which you'll add to the market tile with the others, and you must use the Scuba with the new board. Another change to the setup is you'll add the 2 new minor secrets to the minor secret stash before starting, and the 1 major secret. Now I'll just go over this briefly since you already know how these work. This just gives you 2 coins whenever you like to spend, or they're worth points at the end of the game. This allows you to have 2 swords on your turn, and you use it when you want to. And this big major secret gets you 1 boot, 1 sword, and 1 health to use whenever you like during the game. These will get mixed in with the secrets. You can also play with these even if you're not playing with the new board. When placing the major and minor secrets on the new board, you won't have any leftover minor secrets, but you will have some leftover major secrets like normal. Return those to the box just like the base game. This expansion comes with many new cards, one of which you'll put out near the goblin. If you remember, the goblin gets put out, and it's the monster that can get killed every round. We now have a goldfish that can get killed every round, and you must play with this if using the new board. I'll teach you how to use this later. The expansion comes with 35 new dungeon cards that can be added and shuffled into the main dungeon deck of the game before you start. Again, even if you're not using a new board, you can use these cards in the main dungeon deck. The new cards have some little waves in the action spot, so you can see that it's from the expansion. Not only do the new boards have different layouts, but they also have the underwater spaces, which is a big part of this expansion. Now there's some different rules with these underwater spots. First of all, anytime you move into one of these spots, you'll see these little stars here. So if you move from here to here, there's 2 stars. You would actually add 2 clank because you're making extra noise into the clank box. 1 for each of the stars that you may have moved through, making noise jumping into the water. Also, anytime you move from an underwater space to another underwater space, you'll see 2 boots and a flipper. What that means is by default, you need to use 2 boots to move from there to there. Unless at the market, you bought one of the Scubas. They're 5 points at the end of the game, and it has the little flipper icon on there to help remind you about moving through water. Now, if you have that Scuba, you still have to spend 1 boot, but you don't have to spend the 2. Now also, if you're in any of these rooms here, if you'd like to use your swords to kill the monster, you can then spend 3 swords to defeat the goldfish while you're underwater and get 3 coins. Just like the goblin, you can do this as many times as you want, and these never go away. If you start your turn in any underwater space, and you do not at least move into a non-underwater space, you'll lose 1 health. Unless, of course, you have the Scuba, then you can stay underwater. There's also new treasure rooms on both sides of the new board, and these rooms give you money when you go there. So if you go into this room, you'd take a coin. If you leave the room and come back, you could take another coin. And so there's new treasure rooms that give you money when you enter. Many of the new cards have an action to discard. This is generally mandatory. So if you play this card, you would draw a new card, then you would discard a card into your discard pile without doing anything with that card. And with the climbing gear, you'll get a boot when you play the card, and if you're able to discard, you'll get an additional boot. Other than that, the rest of the game is played just like the base game. Well, I hope that helped you kind of dive right into this expansion without having to read the rules at all. Just put the board out, watch the video, and go. If you have more questions, feel free to leave them as comments in this video, and we'll do our best to answer them.